Hey everybody, welcome to Radish on the Runway. I'm about to bring in a great guest. Her name is Tiara Verse. She's a designer, a photographer, and of course she is plant-based. So before I bring her on, I need you guys to go ahead and subscribe to this YouTube channel. And if you are on Apple Podcasts, Spotify, Google Podcasts, go ahead and subscribe to those platforms as well. All right, let's bring her in. Good morning, Tiara. How are you? Welcome to Radish on the Runway.
Good morning. I am doing very well. How are you?
I'm doing good. Look, I am loving this turban you're wearing, girl.
Thank you.
You are so adorable.
Oh, thank you. You are too.
Oh, thank you.
Thank you for having me today.
Oh, no problem. So, guys, Tiara and we are really great friends. We've been knowing each other for like over a decade, right?
Yeah. It's been a while and so wonderful. I am so glad I have you in my life. It's just, it's been wonderful.
How did we meet? Was it at a fashion show or something like that?
Yes, I believe we met at for the first time at Dangerous Curves Ahead.
Okay. That's Tamika, guys, from Chi-Town Vegan.
Yes. So we've been like thick as thieves since then.
Yes, I love it. So right now we're going through a pretty strange time, right? You know, we have the whole COVID situation. So how are you dealing with just, staying at home and not being able to get out as much as you used to?
I would say, okay, so the first month or so, I was like, okay, this was, okay, but okay, I need to get out. I was trying to break out. But even though I am still ready to get out of the house and go on vacation and just get to some kind of normalcy, I've been kind of embracing it. My newfound love for like cooking.
Oh, yeah.
It's how I've been like handling, doing things. And then of course, spending time with family to try and like, zone out all of what's going on in the world right now.
Right. Quick question, since we're talking about family, what is your take on the kids going to school in the next 6 or so weeks?
I think that that's the most craziest thing. I just feel like, the cases are going up and down. And I don't know if I feel completely comfortable with my child going, back, especially since she's so young. I just feel as though if they're going to send people back to school, it should be people that, is going to be responsible or that has some kind of conscience of, the seriousness of what's going on right now.
Right.
So, if you're going to do it, maybe college students or even at the youngest, high schoolers.
Yeah.
But, I have someone that's 6 years old. She's going into first grade.
And she's adorable.
She's, thank you. And, they're younger. So, kids, how kids are. It's just, you can't really, you're not there to be able to say, hey, make sure you wash your hands.
Right.
Make sure you don't touch this person. Make sure you keep your distance. I have a hard enough time keeping her with a mask on, when we're out with each other. So I don't know how a teacher is going to be able to control her in doing that, So,
Absolutely.
But yeah, I just think that we need to reevaluate that for sure.
So little Miss Ade, in 6 weeks, she would be getting homeschooled. I'm sure of that. If they do go back.
That's actually, it's so funny that you said that because I've been talking with my mom and my husband. Like, I have to try and see, what I can do to, get certified and all of that good stuff. Because I'm like, I would rather her be at home with me, living, breathing, and safe.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes. I am in agreement. And if I had a child, I would be doing the same thing. Yeah. And I know, Tiara, that you've also been at home with, like you said, hanging out with your daughter and being with family. You also did like a painting section with her. Like, tell me about that, because that was like the cutest thing I've ever seen.
Yeah, yeah. So okay, so that actually that was so much fun actually when I sit back and think about it. But yeah, that actually came about because I was trying to figure out different ideas, different things to do just with her in general, but she just turned 6. And
Okay.
so I was like, okay, I got to come up with something. So I already had like, different things lined up for her, but that was the one thing that I wasn't able to do right away for her birthday because it was raining. Then, some things, had transpired. The next week, I think with maybe the weather or something was bad or something like that. But, I was just like, okay, well, I have to do this with her because I had bought all the stuff and I got the idea from actually a girlfriend of mine. She posted up inside her home, like, her family had did this paint session and she sent me whatever, she wasn't using and went to the store and got me some extra stuff for her. So I merged that stuff with the stuff that I had bought already, set her up at the back, and she absolutely loved it. I sketched out the designs of everybody's painting. So I did a, woman's figure, in a cute little dress for myself. I did for her, I think a butterfly, or maybe it was a flower. It was a flower. And then
Aww.
for my husband, I did like a heart with a crown on the side or whatever. So we all had different paintings, but I just was like, this is something fun for us to do because, we're all still quarantining. I know that she was definitely getting like really emotional here and there because she wasn't going back to school. And, she's not able to be around her friends or even go to, the museum or the park or
Yeah.
anything. So I was like, this is something cute. And she absolutely loved it.
Guys, I saw the video and the video was just absolutely adorable. It was so cute. I just thought it was so well thought and creative and just a great idea to
Mm-hmm.
do with your kids during this time.
Hello, Binky. Are you ready to get some fresh air?
Oh my gosh, this is like a house.
Yeah. Do you like your surprise? I did it this way so then that way you can't. So that's mommy's, okay? This is yours and that's daddy's.
Yeah, it really was. I mean, I would suggest for every person that's stuck in the house with their family, and even after this is all over with, that's something good to implement. Maybe like a weekly, not a weekly, but maybe a monthly or even bi-yearly, biannually, should I say? uh,
Yeah.
thing for you to do because you can get your creativity out, and just be social with one another and just love on each other while you're painting and doing something fun.
I love it. Love it. That was such a great idea.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Um, so we're not going to talk about this too that much, but
Mm-hmm.
this whole racism and all of this that we're going through, how are you dealing with all of that?
Yeah. I'm just taking it day by day. It's just like I have to a lot of times just step away from social media or the news because it's just like it's so much. It's just like you hear about things that your grandparents went through, or maybe even your aunts and uncles and stuff like that, and it's just like I couldn't even, it's just like, it's like a naive way of thinking, but I couldn't have fathomed that the way things are going in today's age, like I can't even believe them. And especially, for it to escalate, the way it has within the last,
Yeah.
month or so. Actually, even the last, 3 or 4 or 5 years. But especially within this last month, I just was like overwhelmed. And it's just like to know that, my grandparents went through, and saw things like this. I didn't think that I'd be dealing with this, and my daughter would be experiencing these kind of things in 2020,
Yeah. It's crazy.
Yeah. It's just, it's nonsense. And it's just like, I just think that people need to have a little bit more compassion and empathy and sympathy for people, and just see what's going, see what it is that, that's going on, where our Black men and women and children are getting harmed just because of the color of their skin.
Right. You really mentioned a great point by saying getting off of social media and stop watching some of the news, because that could really, really drain you. What have you been doing to kind of keep you sane throughout this time? Because you got this has been an awful year. I'm just going to be honest. It's been an awful year. And what have you been doing to keep it positive and, make sure your mental state is up to par?
Well, just maybe, not, I think what it is just making sure that you spend that time, that quality time with your friends and family, finding things that you love to do. So for me, like I said earlier, I've been, cooking. So that's been something that I can kind of, get excited about and, wrap my head around that to kind of escape and stuff. Even also getting my daughter to join in and help me, and even my husband, but just really honestly, just spending quality family time as much as possible, because I will hope that we're not going to be stuck in the house for too long. But, while we are, this is really honestly like a treat, because my husband is usually, out working. So it's kind of hard for us to really get that time with each other. But now we have like all the time in the world to spend with each other. So I've been doing that.
I love it. And during this time of being home, you have been so busy making masks. And these masks are just like upscale, beautiful masks. So tell me about that. I'm sure after this video, you will be going to your sewing room. Getting back to those masks. So tell me how that's been going.
That has been really like, wow. It's good to be able to, able to do something for the community, but, also be able to provide for my family. I couldn't even believe that this would have been such a big thing, this year. I started off with just making a few of them, and not even necessarily to sell or anything, but to give them out to my close loved ones. And it just kind of like branched off from there, whereas people saw that I did, a couple masks for, my close friends and family. And they were like, hey, I want one. So, I just tried to make them cute, affordable, and fashionable at the same time. But yeah, it's still, it's still going. And I'm just really appreciative and grateful for all the people that have supported me, but I'm also wishing and praying that everybody continues to stay safe.
Awesome. Well, you're definitely doing your part in helping us stay safe. Also, just to let the audience know, you make like a matching set with your mask as well, correct?
Yes, I do. So I have, of course, just the, the basics of whether you want to print, sequence, solid, whatever mask. But I also have it paired up with my turbans. So I actually have one that matches this one that I have right now. But then also I have head ties. So like if you don't want a full turban, you can do just maybe like a cute little head tie on the side.
Oh, I love it. And they're absolutely gorgeous. And we'll make sure that we give you guys the link to her website so that you can make your purchases. So Tiara, tell me, how did you get into fashion? What inspired you to become a fashion designer?
Well, you know, I always tell this story to people, and it's like, it's so crazy that your kids are watching you. So my mom actually is in the beauty industry. So she's a licensed cosmetologist, and my dad, he's an artist by trade.
Yes.
But yeah, so he's designed before, he sketches and all of that. So I've naturally just kind of always been into some kind of art form since I was, you know, a little girl.
Yeah.
But it wasn't until I was in high school where I kind of like honed in on, okay, what do I want to do? I didn't realize that I wanted to, you know, go to school to be a fashion designer, but I knew I wanted to be in that industry some way, but I didn't know that that's what I was going to get a degree in.
Yeah, yeah.
But yeah, I've been involved with it for all my life in some sort of fashion, and I've never let it go. I just enjoy it. I just enjoy being able to express myself through clothing and, you know, accessories and all that good stuff. And I love how other people are able to express themselves, because everyone is an individual, and I love it.
Yeah. How would you define your style of clothing?
My style of clothing, I would say it's definitely sexy.
Yes.
It's classic, and timeless.
I agree. I have so many Love Verses outfits in my closets. Tiara has designed so many outfits, custom made outfits for me. She did one piece, actually two pieces for a Full Figure Fashion Week one year.
Yeah.
She's done one for a gala, if I'm not mistaken. She's just done so much, and her pieces are original. They're very feminine, and they're when you wear a Love Verse piece, you feel like $1 million. You really, really do.
Oh,
So your
thank you so
fashions
much
are
for
amazing.
that.
Yes.
Thank you.
Guys, their family, Tiara's family, is absolutely amazing. I just have to mention them in this interview. There was no way I wasn't going to mention your mom, your dad, and your sister, because they're the sweetest people. Not only that, but they're also very talented. Her sister Ashanti, she does my makeup for clients as well. So I mean, when you come to the Versus family, you're going to a family that is very artistic and talented. So,
oh,
you know.
Thank you so much.
Yeah.
Thank you.
And not only do you design, but you're also hired photographer. So tell me how you got into photography as well.
Yeah, so I've always kind of like capturing pictures of other people. I just like that sense of, you know, taking pictures of people while they're just doing their own thing, like, so in the moment pictures.
Yeah.
So I've always kind of I've always kind of done that, and I've always wanted to be behind the camera. So not necessarily the person in the photos, but you know, I always just love just, you know, the beauty of people. So that was that. But I think when I really started really taking it seriously is when I started wanting to take professional pictures of my garments. And at the time when I first started designing, I was just like, well, I don't know if I can really afford to, you know, spend money on a photographer. So what are the ways that I can, you know, actually maximize and building my brand and taking pictures? So I'm like, well, I love taking pictures. I've done, you know, maternity shoots before, you know, and just for fun of it. It wasn't even like a paid gig. It's like, you know, family members, oh, can you take pictures? So I was like, well, let me just research. So I kind of like started doing research on, you know, tools that I needed. And it just, you know, started branching off like that. So I kind of like, you know, grabbed onto it. And so now, even though that's not my main focus for business, it still is a really good source of income for my family because it's word of mouth. So,
Right.
you know, I have so many people, like, even if it's not a photo shoot, it may be an event, and people have heard from me, oh, you were so sweet, you were so nice at this event, you know, can I get you to come to this? So
Yeah.
I can't even believe how many people I had, you know, within the first year of me actually really trying to do photos, that I had gotten all these clients in 1 year. Cause I was like, wait a minute. I was like, this is not what I went to school for, but people love it. I'm pretty good at it. So I'm going to continue doing it.
I know that's right. Well, you are amazing at that as well.
Yeah,
And
thank
you've done some
you.
shots of me as also one of my favorite shoot was when I had the locks in my hair. That was one of my favorites.
Yes. Oh, yes. That
So,
was my favorite too.
yes, yes.
Yes.
So, Miss Tiara, you have made a huge transition this year and you've become plant-based. And I want to
Yes.
know what made you say, okay, now is the time that I go plant-based? What was that thing in your head that was like, okay, it's time?
You know what? So I started this in the end of 2017. That was my first initial, you know, shot at it. And, you know, I started off with that. I was a little under the weather. So I was like, well, let me just take a little, you know, dab into, you know, plant-based lifestyle. And my initial idea was, okay, do this, get better. And then if you decide to, not that I was planning on, but if you decide to dibble in a little, you know, maybe mac and cheese or maybe a little meat here and there, then you could do that.
Yeah.
So I was like, okay, well, I'll do this. But it had been going strong for about, I think, 3 or 4 months. But then somewhere in between there, I just kind of like fell off the bandwagon. Gained all like the weight that I had lost, even though that wasn't necessarily my goal to lose weight. But I, you know, gained all the weight that I had lost and more. And so I just felt like I was just feeling like a little bit, you know, depressed about gaining weight. You know, but it was also, I felt like it was just all this stuff that I was just taking in, because I just felt like I was like just being, I don't want to call it being gluttony, but I just was just like taking in so much,
Mm-hmm.
you know, food, just eating just to be eating, you know,
Mm-hmm.
and stuff that wasn't even good for my body, you know,
Mm-hmm.
not even necessarily lean meats. But eventually I was like, okay, I got to get on the right path. So fast forward to December, I said, okay, T, you have to do this. You know, you're getting older in age. I don't know if a lot of people know this, but I had gestational diabetes when I was pregnant with my daughter.
Mm-hmm.
And I was taking it serious, but then like somewhere in between, I just wasn't. So I was just like, you know what? I need to sit back and reevaluate, what can I do? And I'm getting emotional thinking about it, because it's like, man, you know, you're not taking care of your body. You
Mm-hmm.
need to take care of your body. You need to be able to be here for not only just for yourself, but for your daughter. You have a
Right.
family.
Right.
So I sat back and I was like, let me reevaluate, what can I do to make sure that I get on track? So I made up a plan in December. Come January 1st, I am going to be completely plant-based. And I still gave myself that window within that first month. Okay, T, if you need to get a little piece of meat, you know, or if you're craving this and that, you can do that. But only if you want to, and it has to be, you know, maybe on the weekend or something like that.
Right. Okay.
And then I just made sure that I was prepared. Come January 1st, I went completely plant-based. I didn't have any cheat days at all. So I was like, okay, well, let me carry it over to February. Let me carry it over. So I have been plant-based completely 100%. since January 1st, and I'm
Congratulations.
getting back to that happy. Thank you. I'm getting
Yes.
back to that happy like I had the first time around when I tried out plant-based at 3 or 4 months. So, but yeah, so I'm just like so ecstatic. It's like a life changer. This time around, I have my family dibbling and dabbling into the plant-based diet.
Okay. Okay.
So some days they won't even, take in any kind of dairy. They won't take in any kind of meat or anything. So I
Wow.
really, really love that. And I think also that I also have been cooking. I've been experimenting
Yeah.
with different foods. People that really know me know that I'm very picky and particular about
I do.
texture. About texture. So I love that this time around I've been really experimenting with different things. So I haven't missed anything this time around at all. I just have been like, it's like breathing. Like, okay, let me go make this plant-based meal. It's not, something that I think before it was kind of hard for me to come up with different meals that would satisfy me. But this one, I'm not missing anything.
Wow. I love it. I love it. You mentioned a great point when you said your family is starting
Mhm.
to eat more like meatless meals. And just tell me how that is going though. Tell me a little more about like how Ade, like does she know that it's
Mhm.
vegan or she's just eating it? Like how does that work?
Yeah, so she gets really excited about, things being, plant-based. So like, because of course she doesn't understand the difference between plant-based and being vegan and stuff like that.
Right, right.
So she's always like using the term vegan. And so she's like, Mom, is that your vegan? Can I have some of your vegan ice cream? Like, and she loves it. Like, so like with it, let's just say if it's something that's, junk food like ice cream, she loves it. But I also made a dish. I can't remember what it was exactly, but I think it was like some kind of rice dish. But it had, vegetables and stuff like that up in there. No meat at all. I think it was,
Mm.
it was cauliflower in it. And she enjoyed it. She enjoyed it. It was like she didn't miss it at all. And she's kind of like a vegetarian anyway. Like every once in a while, she'll dibble and dabble in the meat industry. But she typically, she could do with or without, any kind of meat. Now my husband, now that guy there, he loves him some fish. He'll eat red meat here and there, but he ain't opposed to no burger. But
Okay.
but he loves his fish and he loves his cheese. They both love cheese. But
Okay.
when I make these dishes, they don't have dairy in them,
Yeah.
obviously, and they don't have meat in them. And, I've heard some good reviews about some of the stuff. Of course, naturally, if it's too, greeny for my daughter, then she's just like, she'll try it. But, she's like, okay, I'll let you have that. It's good, but I'll let you have that.
Right.
But it's a lot of dishes that I can recreate that aren't dairy. And she's just sat down and, enjoyed it.
Yeah. Now,
She didn't
both.
miss the dairy. She didn't miss the.
Oh, go on. I'm
Go ahead.
sorry.
Oh, I'm sorry. Yeah. So, she didn't miss the dairy and she didn't miss the meat. And then my husband, I just made this chickpea stew the other day, and I was
Ooh.
shocked that he didn't have any meat on the side at all.
Okay.
Like he just was like, I like this.
I love it. Oh my goodness. So, as far as the dairy, have you found any like substitutes that are plant-based that you like?
Okay, so with dairy, it's kind of hard for me to find something that's a good substitute, but I'm fine without having it. But there is it chow, I believe. I like that for the cheese.
Okay.
And then there's this other company which I can't even remember the name of that I use for like, shredded cheddar. But yeah, other than that, like I don't really use a lot of dairy substitutes now. If we're
And
talking
that's
about
good.
other substitutes like eggs,
Oh.
I used to didn't like eggs at all, but now these dang on just eggs.
Yes.
Child, it's something about it when you season it and stuff like that. It's so delicious.
Oh,
like
good.
It's better than real eggs.
Yes,
And
it is so good.
I'm trying to think of something else that I really.
What do you
I
do
have
for your butter?
For my butter. Oh yes. Okay, yeah, you're right. So that's my butter. I use what is that brand? I can't believe it's not butter.
Okay.
And then what else? There's another brand too.
I use
that
Earth
I use.
Balance. Do you use
Yes,
that?
Earth.
Okay.
Yes, Earth Balance too. Yeah, and so I kind of teeter between using the almond butter and the olive oil butter.
Nice,
Just
nice. So I have a bit of
yeah.
a funny story to tell our audience regarding the dairy. So Tiara and I agreed that we hate Daiya cheese. We hate it. We do not like Daiya cheese, right? And about, what is it, a couple weeks ago, we were at our friend Tamika's house with Chi-Town Vegan.
Yes.
And we had a burger.
I didn't know where you were going with this, but yes.
We had a burger that had, the Daiya cheese on it. We were like, oh my gosh, this burger is so good.
I couldn't even believe it. I was like, it really tastes cheesy. I mean, this is like the closest thing that I've had to cheese. Child, when they said that it was Daiya cheese, I was going in on that.
No.
It
was so funny.
Hilarious.
It was, but I do feel I have realized that when it comes to the cheeses, I do prefer them to be melted. It tastes better to be melted.
Yeah,
but that melted cheese on the Daiya pizza is horrible. I hate it. I hate
it. Yeah. And are you talking about the frozen pizza?
Yeah.
Or are you just saying like in general?
The frozen pizza, that frozen Daiya cheese pizza is horrible. Well, I don't like it.
Yeah.
I guess I won't be getting any sponsorships from Daiya, huh?
Well, maybe they'll look at this because I heard that there's more than one person or two people that don't like it. So maybe they'll hear this and try and step up their game with their recipe on their cheese.
Right. So you mentioned that you're cooking more. And what are some of your favorite recipes that you've been doing?
Oh goodness, I don't think I've sat down and really honed in on one type of recipe, but I know my go-to is, always, soul food. So like my go-to, like if it's just like a lazy, week and I don't really want to cook that much, I'll put some collard greens on and then I'll do some black-eyed peas. Those are just like my my actual go-to, but I've been experiencing a lot more with, a lot of rice dishes, like more like, so my husband, he's Ghanaian. So I've been trying to, incorporate those kind of like rice, cultural dishes more than anything.
Yeah. I think I saw some of that on your Instagram stories. It looks so good.
Yeah, and it was good. I've been using not just, things that I've been like trying to doctor up myself, but I've been using different vegan recipes. I think I have maybe about 6 or 7 recipe books.
Oh, wow.
Now, and they're all my recipe books are all vegan. And I think 4 out of the 6 I'll say 3 out of the six are Black authors.
Oh, I love it.
Which
Yeah,
I love.
what's that guy you told me Darius Cooks? You are a fan of him.
Yes.
Mm-hmm.
Yes.
But Darius,
Yes.
just so people won't. Yeah, and just so people won't go off on me, Darius is not vegan. However, he did come out with a vegan cookbook. So.
Yes, and I think he did overall. There have been some misses in there, but overall, I would definitely give it, high ratings for sure. It's a good book for you to go to, especially for beginners.
Absolutely, absolutely. What are some of your favorite restaurants here in Chicago?
So my favorite one, and which is going to be super crazy because people that also know me know that I do not like Asian food, okay, in any capacity, okay? But there's this place called Urban Vegan that is pretty much traditional Asian inspired
right.
food. And let me tell you, it is delicious. I love it. I don't get to it too often because I'm on the south side and that's, more north. But that's my favorite spot. And then I love Chicago Diner. And if it's like a grab and go, I like Native Foods.
Yeah, I'm a big fan of Urban Vegan. That's one of my favorites too.
Yes, it's so delicious, right?
It really is. It really is. And I think both of our favorite dishes is the orange chicken, I would say.
Yes. Mm-hmm. Yep, the orange chicken. I don't mind that teriyaki though. That's pretty tasty as well.
Oh, I don't think I've tried the teriyaki yet.
Really?
I don't think I have.
Yeah, that was the dish that got me hooked. I think I had the teriyaki dish and then I had the orange chicken on the side. That sounds so like over the top with all the food I have. But.
We were celebrating.
Yes. Yes.
It's funny that you mentioned Urban Vegan because I went by there yesterday and I got their mango and sticky rice. Girl.
Oh, I haven't even heard of that one yet.
Yeah, it's really, really good. It's more like a dessert dish. It's sweet, but it's so good. And you would never think of having rice with mango like that, but the way they make it, they put like coconut cream in it. They make it real sweet. It's like a green color and a white color mix. Really, really good.
I'm gonna have to try that.
Yeah. I don't know about your texture thing. I don't know if you would like it.
But I'll still try it though. That's the whole thing that I've been trying to do now is just making sure I try different things, even if it's like revisiting something that I've tried in the past. I've been like, let's try it. What's it gonna hurt?
Yes. Tiara, I know that there are some people here right now that are so concerned about one thing in our lives, and that is, where do you get your protein from?
Child. I just think that that's the craziest thing, don't you? Like,
pretty much.
I don't know where. I really don't understand how like so many people are like misinformed with, different ways of you getting, proteins or whatever it is that you're eating. I just think that that's so bizarre that people don't realize you can get it from this, you can get it from that. Right. Okay, eat some of this and, just maybe up your portions on certain things anyway.
Yeah.
But I mean, that's just with a regular diet. You need to make sure that you're eating a certain amount of this, maybe less of this, maybe more of this, even with not even eating a plant-based diet.
Right,
so,
right.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But yeah, so I make a lot of stuff that's, no matter what I make, I try to make sure that I have something in there that's going to make sure I have a completely balanced meal.
Right. So you're not protein deficient at all, correct? Just so we're
Not
clear.
at all.
Okay.
No, not at all.
All right. Well, you know what? This has been an absolute pleasure, Tiara.
Yes,
Um,
thank you.
Can you please tell everyone how we can get in contact with you regarding your photography work and your clothing designing as well?
Yes. So I'll start off with my photography. So my photography, you can I have an Instagram handle and my Facebook handle, and it's Verse Bico. You just type that in, pull it up. You can send me a DM. However, if you want to contact me through Love Verse for photography as well, my handles for all platforms is Love My Verse. So if you go on Instagram or even on Facebook, it's Love My Verse. And the website is lovemyverse.com. If you have any inquiries, you can email me at info@lovemyverse.com.
Awesome. Anything coming up? Anything we can expect for it? I know that like you're working on, I know it's like been on hold now as far as your designs, but anything in the future coming that we can expect?
Yeah, so I've been putting on hold a collection of evening wear that was supposed to be due to come out this past June, but I'm just waiting for everything to clear out because I have something special for that will be coming out very, 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 very soon, because we're going to speak it into existence that all of this stuff with the coronavirus is over soon.
Yes.
But as soon as that clears up and people are able to really go and have fun and go to, you know, fancy places and whatnot, or even if you just want to be at home or take a cute little photo shoot or something like that, I am going to release this collection for beautiful women of all shapes and sizes.
I love it. And oh yeah, I did not mention that as far as her clothing, she designs from what, a size 0 to a size 26. You know, she designs for everybody, which I love. And I think that's important.
Yes. Yes.
Well, again, thank you for being a part of Radish on the Runway. This was a pleasure. Yeah.
Thank you so much for having me, and thank you so much for being a supportive friend in this transition of being plant-based.
Yes,
I love it.
And actually, I have one more question for you. I'm glad we kept talking. What type of advice would you give to a person who wants to transition to becoming plant-based?
You know what? I would just say, before you start doing this, make sure you sit down and come up with a plan. Make sure you know the reason why you want to do this. You know, if you're doing it for someone else or if you're doing it because of the trend, don't do it.
Right.
If you're doing it to, you know, lose weight, that's cool and all, but don't do it. Do it because you're working on, for me, I think you should be doing it more so of working on being a healthier and better you.
Yes.
Yeah.
Beautiful. I agree. Well, thank you again, Tiara. This was a great interview, and I will make sure that all your links are at the bottom of this YouTube video so that people can go and make contact with you guys. And please, guys, check Tiara out. I mean, her clothing designs are dope. Her masks are dope. I have like 3 up in here. So yeah, thank you again for being a part of Radish on the Runway. This was a pleasure.
Thank you.
Thank you.